So, hello and welcome to the second episode of the Spirits of Arianwyn podcast, this week hosted by Goldies, also known as Dan, that's me. We are joined by Josh1391, Roving Fish, also known as Martin, and Arianwyn, also known as Xander. Arianwyn is, already a veteran of the podcast, having appeared on now both of the episodes, so we know all about him, but we've got two newcomers, Martin and Josh.
Hello.
So, Martin
Hello.
and Josh, why don't you introduce yourselves?
You can go first, Martin.
Okay, I'm Martin, I'm Roving Fish. I've been playing RuneScape for about 4 years now. I've been playing 2 years on Roving Fish. I've been in SoA since it began as one of the starting members. I've got a few 99s, probably best ones, 99 Crafting. Been to RuneFest twice, been to the MCM Expo. And within the next year, looking to get my combat up and general levels up.
Excellent. Yeah, we will be discussing the MCM Expo at some point during this podcast. So, Josh, how about you?
Right, my name's Josh. RuneScape name's Josh1391. I've been playing for about 9 years, 8 or 9 years. I've been in SoA for 1.5, 2 years, maybe less. What else? Goals in the next year, probably none in the next year, but I'd like to get 99 mining at some point in my life. Probably not for another few years though.
Yeah,
that's about it.
And you've also won a few of the Jagex competitions.
Yeah, I won a golden gnome, which is sitting on my desk, for doing a video competition where I basically did a stop motion animation.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about RuneScape then. So, this week we've had a few updates to the game. Firstly, the release of the long-awaited Queen Black Dragon, first announced at RuneFest of last year. Created by the Dragonkin to give birth to dragons, as Modmark so vividly described last time. She's now imprisoned in a cave far below Rimington, and now the magic that's binding her is slowly weakening, so you have to venture into the lair to reinforce the seals.
That's a bit of a strange place, isn't it, Remington?
Yeah, actually, yeah. She's quite a hard boss monster. She's billed as the hardest solo boss monster in the game, and she has 4 different forms, which means you have to kill her 4 times? She has 5 forms, you have to kill her 4 times.
Well,
That's something.
they say that she's the hardest solo one. I did watch RuneShark beat her first time on the live stream.
Yeah. And obviously a plug to our clan member Baraxel, who has killed the QBD several times already, and you'll find a link to his boss guide in the description of this podcast. I've watched it, he's very good, and the QBD is also very good. Do you know much about her?
Wait, so let me get this straight. The QBD is basically the mother of all dragons in RuneScape, is that?
So,
yes,
so big that your character has to zoom out to see her.
Yeah, your camera has been zoomed out when you go into the cave because she's massive.
So she's got a lot of children.
Yeah, Modmark at RuneFest said that he kind of liked the idea of this big dragon mother hooked up to loads of tubes just producing babies.
But that's confusing because she's dead, kind of. Now she's been killed a few.
Yeah, you don't kill her.
times.
You put her back to sleep or something. She doesn't die.
This is true.
She becomes submissive again, and you can go and loot her chest or whatever. So she doesn't die. So that's, I guess, how they keep making dragons in the game.
Yeah, if we killed her, someone on the RuneScape forums would complain that there are still dragons in the game.
People are complaining enough about how Calphite Queen and King Black Dragon got married, so why is there a Queen Black Dragon?
Well, everyone seemed to be of the opinion that the boss was too easy, and at the same time, the rewards were too bad.
Mm-hmm.
They could be better. I don't really see it. I mean, I haven't killed her. Don't think I'll ever go down there. It's just one of those things, isn't it, that people complain about.
Yeah.
For the sake.
I mean, I went down there and managed to get her into a second form, and she is quite easy to hit. I don't think I ever miss a combat round, just hit, relatively lowly. Her attacks, however, I'd say they're strong. They're not as strong as some of the other boss monsters, and they're not as strong as I imagined they would be. and she's not got as much health as I imagine she would have. But I suppose the fact that you have to kill her several times and that each time is increasingly more difficult, that's where the challenge comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have the firewalls. She summons a grot worm. She has the stop time effect.
The one thing that does my head in when you're ever doing any like type of boss is when they summon smaller versions of themselves that you have to kill in order to get back to it. It just drags the fight on. It's why I don't like combat in its current state.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea, though, to make the fight last longer.
Yeah, they don't want it to be too easy.
And also just to vary it a bit, because it'd be a bit boring if you just sat attacking one thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas attacking loads of different things makes it slightly more interesting.
It makes it more of a battle than a fight. Because there's so many different enemies that you have to kill for one like reward. I don't know.
The evolution of combat then. This is again billed to be RuneScape's biggest ever update. Again, you know, as I said last time, they said that about citadels and
they said that
various
about
other bits and
dungeoneering.
pieces. Dungeoneering, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how big an update it turns out to be. We're recording this on the 1st of June, which is the day that applications to the beta opened, and already the website has gone down several times with the amount of people trying to sign up to the beta. I got in. A few people applied.
Yeah, I got in too.
Yep.
Yeah, I got in.
To get in first time, you have to have, is it a year's membership? A year's non-stop membership.
And there's like a raffle too, I think.
If you don't have a year's, I think it's, you get put in a raffle. It's 50,000 places, so...
That's right.
So that is a lot of places, though.
Yeah, that is a lot. A lot of people will get in.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people just look at it and think, oh, it's a closed beta. But realistically, 50,000 players is going to be a lot of the rest that's left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to be fair, you know, 2-3 weeks down the line, they're going to open it up to all paying members, so everyone's going to have access to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a case that we'll be the first people to have a look at it and to kind of like break it, I suppose.
I think I remember reading somewhere that everyone gets access to it on weekends anyway, so...
Well, all members will, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone will get a chance to play it.
That's good.
It looks good.
Have you watched this week's behind the scenes?
Yeah, I have.
There was a massive section on there with Mod Crisell and Mod Hunter actually commentating on a playthrough.
I thought the video was interesting. I mean, you're watching a person attack a QA punchback.
Yeah.
And it keeps on saying stun, stun, stun. Which is, I don't know, because the mage, I guess, was using the same type of attack, it just made out to be that it was stunning all the time. And if that was actual PvP, or that would really annoy me.
The other thing as well about that video is that you didn't get to see what input they were doing to make it do that type of thing.
Yeah.
So you still don't know like what the hotkeys will be and if it's sort of AFKable or if you actually have to really be engaged with it. You don't get to see that in the video, so...
They did miss off the action bar quite deliberately, I feel.
Yeah, that will be the thing that makes or break it, I think. Because the graphical update of it looks really good. The way they... Especially when he like turns into that fire guy.
Yeah,
that looks really good, but it doesn't really show you how you actually get around doing that, and if you have to like build up some special bar, or if it takes a while, or if you can just run in and do that from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Like, are they gonna? Do you have to unlock all these spells and stuff too? Is it just gonna be like,
I think
sign
you
on?
do.
I have 99 mage already. I can just do whatever I want, or is it gonna be like I have to start from one mage again and unlock everything, like Livid Farm type stuff?
You're gonna log in with 99 mage and the spells will be different, I imagine, because they're not going to make people do it again. I mean, from now until when it's released, so we're talking probably about September, October, it'll be definitely a good idea to concentrate on your combat.
They said, didn't they, they had 3 tiers of kind of ability. You had the very basic ability, and then I think it was one ultimate ability or something.
Something like
which
that.
is the guy turning into the fire person.
That was only the second one, though, wasn't it? There's still a third we've not seen.
Yeah, it was. He like made some kind of orb, and he shot it at the guy. I don't know. It was really like lackluster for what he was building it up to be. He's like, oh, we're going to show the ultimate third ability. It was like less impressive than Earthwave.
It's interesting how they decided to do basic, threshold, and ultimate abilities. I don't know how that will work, 'cause it's a completely different system to what we're used to now as a game. And it seems like it's more loyalty points where you can upgrade things. It seems like that.
Yeah, 11 years down the line, it is a complete overhaul. And I'm not sure how it's going to go down. I'm really looking forward to it. But
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm kind of scared that it might go not in my favour, unless you're already high level already.
Yeah.
You're going to get people, no matter what they do, you're going to get people that absolutely hate it and just want it to stay the same, because people just hate change.
Yeah. Well, at the
no matter
moment,
what they do, people will hate it. Some will love it as well. Hopefully everyone, hopefully the majority will love it. There'll always be people.
At the moment on the forum that they created especially for it, so combat discussion.
The combat HQ.
Yeah, there must be 24 pages in the last 12 hours, and about half of those threads are saying, please don't do this. But, yeah, it seems a bit strange. Well, it's to be expected, but I can't...
And the more vocal people
are
usually the people who don't like the update. I mean, people who aren't bothered either way won't post.
Yeah, exactly.
It's usually only the very staunch supporters or the very hardline, opposition post things. Like, I'm not planning on posting anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand how people can automatically not like it when they've only seen like a 2-minute video, some of it, and they've not even seen how it works yet. It's ridiculous.
Threads that I've posted on at the moment was stuff like, will the rework destroy RuneScape? And you just think, surely it's a step forward because it's moving away from what we're knowing and it's moving on with the rest of the industry. Stuff like tutorial, people want a tutorial on the combat system when it's introduced into a live environment, which would be good.
They don't really release new skills or anything without tutorials lately, so I mean, I think they should definitely have a combat tutorial in the works when they just put the whole thing out and just be like, okay, here you go, fend for yourselves. Here's a new combat system.
I was on a topic earlier, it's now locked, just saying how it's not RuneScape anymore. And then I was just like, well, RuneScape's evolving. It's like, get on board or get off. It's effectively what you can say. I don't know what these people want. People have been saying, oh, we want it to be RuneScape 2006, but these people are stuck in the past, and I feel as if they don't realise that a game can change without warning, and it's not up to them to dictate what happens. Something that's really been annoying me on the forums, and just generally, is that veterans come back, and they're like, oh, I've been playing for 6 years, or 10 years, and I missed payment like for 1 month, or decided I don't want to pay it in protest for 1 month, but now I did, and I'm missing out on the beta. So although you paid it, you did choose to get off. It's a members perk, and I can go on and rant about that.
At the end of the day, it's going to make RuneScape easier to use. Their idea behind it was to stop us having to navigate through the various and numerous interfaces.
But didn't they try doing that with the tool belt though? Because they did try and streamline the interfaces. I think they did fail a bit there.
They also introduced the hotkeys as well, didn't they? The F1 through, I think it's F1 through F6.
Those have been there for a while though.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time. I've never used them.
I don't use them because I can't see what I'm doing, and I don't use combat enough and have to be that fast paced to learn the hotkeys. I avoid combat like the plague.
One thing I do hope they do with this action bar though is, as what many other games do, and make the hotkeys editable. And let us set our own hotkeys, because I refuse point blank to use my F1 and my function keys, because half the time they mess up my computer.
Yeah, my function keys I'm on a laptop, so I have to hit the function key first. It's so annoying. I would not want to have to use those as my go-to hotkeys.
Yeah, definitely. I'd prefer to use keyboard characters or the number pad or something. I think that's something that I'm really hoping that they put in, that they let us edit our own hotkeys.
Hopefully.
So, last podcast we mentioned that Josh and Martin were going down to London for the weekend to visit the MCM Expo, which is Britain's Comic Con. Jagex were there, advertising their new Transformers MMO and also talking about RuneScape. Josh and Martin, you both went. What was it like?
Mind blowing.
It was a bit Comic-Con-y.
It's new territory for both of us because
it was a bit too Comic-Con-y.
Is it a lot different from RuneFest?
I felt a bit out-geeked, which is very unusual for me.
We've been to RuneFest, but it's our first time going to that type of event, and it's strange.
The great thing about RuneFest was everything there was to do with a game we all enjoy and play.
Yeah.
RuneScape, obviously. Whereas this event, there was a small stand for RuneScape, which was really good fun. It was really great to talk to all the Jagex staff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also a stand for Transformers, which was also great. We got to preview some
easier than others.
Some of the stuff and set up our accounts. So we got the name we wanted. I got Josh, which I'm very happy about.
Nice. I got Martin after
and
some
Martin
trouble.
got Martin. So that was great. So the actual RuneScape and the actual Jagex section was really good. However, the rest of it was just...
I was confused by it. I'm not into anything.
It was a bit overwhelming. I had no idea what was going on.
Apparently there was a Minecraft stand there.
Was there?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Apparently so.
There was a few very weird stands, like some like swords and stuff like that. And then there was, I think, Martin, you said there was a porn stand?
Yes, there was genuine, I forget what they call it, but just inside the entrance there was a man with a massive paddle no innuendo waving about for some gay, explicit cartoon images. Was
it gay?
Yes.
Oh.
Just inside the door.
That's slightly disappointing.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
For me.
But
I'm not.
Not necessarily for some of us.
But but the whole event, it was mind blowing.
There was also a lot of cosplay, which was very interesting. There was some really, really good costumes, and then there were some absolutely terrible ones as well, which were just as funny.
And free huggers. I don't like free huggers.
There was a lot of free huggers. Basically, they walk around with a sign saying "free hug," and then you
hug them.
Okay.
And then they get really horrible if you don't give them a free hug.
I managed to avoid hugging any of them.
Although
actually, that's a slight lie, because I was walking home and there was a group and it said free hug on it, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going home. It's the last day. I'll hug this group. So I went up. I hugged the first girl, the second girl, and then the third girl turned out to be a man in a drag, and I was like, oh no, and I had to hug him, and it was highly.
I got a really half-hearted hug.
I had hugged all the others, and I thought, oh, I've got to hug this guy now. And he was happy anyway, so it was good in the end.
If you're gonna hug somebody, you gotta make it a good hug. I got really half-hearted.
It was a good hug. I hugged him for a while actually. We were there for about 5 minutes.
You got squeeze.
He squeezed.
What's your advice?
Yeah.
What's your kind of ideal hug then?
My ideal, preferably a woman.
You got arms around each other. You got squeeze for about 2 seconds, and after 2 seconds it gets a bit weird.
A man hug is like a handshake with one arm and then a hug with the other. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. You have to have the hands as a kind of a barrier.
Yes, it's a handshake and like sort of more like a pat on the back. So it's a handshake, pat on the back.
I don't do that.
No, neither do I.
Well, that's what straight men do.
That's how bros greet each other.
Yeah.
I'm bros with people.
I have a brother, but I don't go anywhere near him.
Oh, yeah.
There was a man there. I can't remember who it was, but it was like some wrestling man. It was massive, really muscular.
He was
Hook
fit.
He just had his mask on,
He was
Was he doing
fit.
free hugs?
and yeah, he was ripped.
He was fit.
They
He was
With
wearing
mask.
the tightest red trousers you ever seen.
made Martin's blue shorts look crap.
His shorts
Yeah.
got a lot shorter.
They
No,
made Martin's blue
it was
shorts
just so
really
tight.
baggy.
Wow.
And he was also right next to the RuneScape stand the whole day, so you couldn't miss him really.
He was
Was he a Jagex?
advertising.
Was he Jagex staff?
I think he might have been Mod Osborne.
He was advertising some really crap game as well. It's like a singing game.
It was it's DS, wasn't it? I think.
DS or Wii. It's the Wii stand, so Nintendo stand. It's just I looked it up at home a few days ago because I was trying to show Kat a picture of him, and
The
yeah,
Transformers lot also did a sort of like a talk
I didn't go to these
on
talks.
the main stage, which is quite interesting. Basically, it's browser based, but it doesn't look browser based. Is the way they put it. They say it's better than browser based, graphical wise. And it does. They reckon it does look amazing. They said it should be out in winter 2012, so not too long, and hopefully we should be getting some gameplay footage in the next 3 months. So it sounds like it is coming out relatively soon.
I've got a quite funny
Unlike Stellar
story
Dawn,
about-
which has been coming out for the last 5 years.
I think they scrapped that, didn't they?
I've got a quite
Yeah,
funny
they did.
story. We found some interesting stuff about RuneFest.
Yes.
Oh yes, RuneFest.
You
Interesting.
talk to JMods, you know all the secrets. Still.
We don't know all the secrets. And
In fact, we know none of them, but we do know.
If we got
a bit.
told any secrets, we would have to like sign something so it can tell you anyway.
Yeah.
But basically, nothing's been planned or finalised yet. They've not got a venue, and they were asking for my feedback, which I gave. I'm sure in the video description link, I can get a quick find code of all my findings. Let me just go and find it. Josh, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, they also suggested that they would like to do something both in UK and in America as well. So they'd like to do both. I'm assuming they're going to be at different times. Hopefully not exactly the same time.
Hopefully they don't
It
split
would-
up the staff or anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's that. You know, you'd have to get the staff to both. So
The
I
thing
would
is,
imagine
the great thing about the RuneFest 2011 was the amount of Jagex staff that were there. They were there in the hundreds, and
Wow.
there was always someone you could talk to. There was always someone from a department that you were interested in.
Much better than 2010 because they had all the staff doing their jobs and they didn't have anybody spare.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So who was manning RuneScape when everybody was at RuneFest?
They have their weekend staff. These people within Jagex have to apply to work there because they still get paid. Or no, this year they did it voluntarily, didn't they?
So that was
You have
the
to
best
apply
bit
to
about
it.
RuneFest. If they
I
do
did
that
some-
in America, shut up, Martin.
Okay.
If they do RuneFest in America or a similar thing, they will. There's no way they're going to be able to fly out, 100, 200 Jagex staff.
They'd have to
So
rent the whole plane.
They'll have exactly. So there's no way they're going to be able to take that many people, and so they might end up taking maybe 10, 15.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the numbers that were at the original RuneFest, and that would be a
Perhaps
shame
only
in a
do it-
way because that was the best bit about it.
Yeah.
Perhaps only do a day event as well and charge quite a bit for it.
Plus, America's a lot bigger than England is, so England has a really concentrated RuneScape player base, but America is really spread out. Like, even within the clan, I don't know if there are any other people that live in the state that I live in, but there's like a handful, couple dozen people who live in England, which is all within a couple hours of each other driving. You don't have to fly.
I mean, if you live in England, you're only like 6 hours away from everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why
And
they can do it in England and get more people to go, because
Yeah.
It's a game that's based out of England, so it's got a big fan base in England, so they can.
Yeah.
But in America,
And
everybody's spread out.
you can actually fly. You can fly from Manchester to London.
Oh. Well, you don't
But
have
it
to.
only no, you don't have to. It takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You can fly from Boston to Rhode Island, and it takes a half hour.
I found out that it won't be held in August. No venue booked or date assigned. Looking to have something in the UK and US perhaps. More community focused, and an obscure quote from Paul M, who's organised the previous two RuneFests, is, I sort of want to move away from making RuneScape come to life. We've done that now in 2011. Of course, don't take that for granted, don't quote me on that, but that's roughly what he said.
So it'd be a case of more making it a community thing where players come and meet up and chat to Jagged Staff, rather than doing the penguins.
People have expressed concern that it just seems like a really expensive meetup, because we've been getting into a community where meetups are quite frequent now. They're every few months. It just sounds like a more expensive one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
me and Martin both went to an Alton Towers meetup, which was in February. And that was,
And Cider actually, he's come over from I-42. He's in the crowd now. He was at Alton Towers.
And that was great, just to meet SoA members and other people of the RuneScape community. And that's what RuneFest should be about, really. So I kind of like that quote. I think if that's what they aim to do, that would be just as good, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
And cheaper as well, because the RuneFest tickets were like £200 or so, or 160.
Yeah, 170.
So
yeah,
they want to scrap VIP as well.
That's what put me off last time, because I didn't want to miss out on anything. So the only option would have been to buy a VIP ticket, and no matter how good it is, I cannot pay £175 before you even get to accommodation, travel, and food.
I think everyone that went to RuneFest agrees that VIP was like rubbish. Because VIP was basically one section, and it had some computers in and some seats, but no one wanted to sit there because they were more than happy to meet everyone else that wasn't VIP.
Because RuneFest was going on, so you can go mingle with all the J-mods and stuff.
So VIP didn't really work, and people that bought it, I think, were slightly disappointed that they didn't just get a 2-day ticket.
Should have had free drinks. Should have at least had free drinks up there, even if it was soft drinks.
Surely it should be soft drinks, Martin, considering you're not 18.
Yeah,
but
Martin.
we don't. No, shush. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of meetups, actually, briefly, there's a thread on our forums about a SoA meetup in the summer, and I just wanted to, shout at you, really, Martin.
I haven't
because
checked that thread for a while.
You picked the only weekend in the summer that I'm not around.
Well,
yeah, Martin.
Hey.
Well, quickly, just say what weekend it was. What dates is it, and where is it?
It was the first weekend in August, and the location was to be determined.
I was looking at the 28th and 29th of July, or the 4th and 5th of August.
Why don't we all go around Martin's house?
Yeah.
Sorted.
I hope that we have British weather and it rains.
You can all come up to Manchester.
Or we should just hire out a campsite. All bring tents and a barbecue. It'll be amazing.
Anyway, back to the...
as long as it's got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Back to the meetup. I think that it would be better for us to kind of have a meetup than wait for a meetup from the rest of the RuneFest community, and I can really see it happening now that we know that it won't be in August and we'll have summer without RuneFest. I was looking at Bristol, Birmingham, Milton Keynes or London. The trouble with going too far north is that people from the south, it gets really expensive to go up, and it gets less expensive to go south, you'll find.
Yeah, but surely the people that are from north that have to come south have to then go north again to get home.
Not necessarily. I'm staying at Martin's.
That's
Me
very
too.
south. That's like France south.
You're closer to you got a shorter journey time to get to France than I do. You got half an hour, and I've got 6 hours.
I can get to Disneyland Paris quicker than I can get to Alton Towers.
Wow.
Anyway, teaser images, I think, was the next thing.
Hey.
We
No.
got
Let's let
way
Martin
off
finish
topic.
off.
No. I was going to say, at the moment it looks like London or Birmingham been winning. Birmingham seems more sensible because central location, kind of. Like,
It's halfway.
It's a compromise between all of them. And also, London 2012 Olympics will be occurring. And
Really? I've
Yeah.
not heard anything
Yeah.
about that.
Oh no.
Oh, had you not?
No. I thought that was next year.
The 2012 Olympics that are in 2013.
Yeah.
He's been sarcastic, Xander, because we've had nothing but the Olympics on our news.
Oh well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't live in England. I'm out of the loop
Right,
here.
yeah.
I didn't catch the sarcasm.
Yeah, we're getting bored of it.
Yeah. We're getting bored of it, and it's not even stuff.
Especially on the radio, constantly going on about how you need to make new travel arrangements because basically the whole of the UK is going to be in gridlock and
I'm
we're not
not.
going to be able to get anywhere.
Everyone's
not.
going to move down to me, and then I'll be gridlocked because everyone will have escaped to Cornwall. For the last weekend of August, I'm escaping to Greece, and Josh, you're escaping somewhere, aren't you?
I'm going to New Zealand in November.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
not Olympic time, though, is it?
No. But you
Okay.
asked me a question and I answered it.
Touche.
Let's move on to clan stuff then. We'll briefly mention the Citadel. Last week we got up to 46% completion on the Dragon. At the time of recording we are at 54% completion. 54% completion on the Dragon. We still need about 15k of food for this dragony thing.
Ration.
To meet this week's requirement. So please do head along and
Please do.
And get some resources,
Because-
get some rations especially.
Well, not only rations. I was there this morning, and a lot of people. Well, no, sorry. Dilapidation. That was a risk this morning that I logged on to. We need to make sure that we don't dilapidate because that's a lot of work down the drain.
Oh yeah.
Of course, yeah.
From 7 to 6.
Well, you get 1 week just to get your upkeep again, and if you get the upkeep, you go back.
Oh okay.
It's only if you miss upkeep 2 weeks that you go back down to the tier 6 Citadel.
Also, we need to talk about, we have a newsletter out today, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Created by
The
Martin.
The first newsletter for a few months because it's been revamped. Martin is now the editor of this particular newsletter. I have to say, it does look quite good.
Cool.
It does, doesn't it?
I've not managed to get through all of the content yet, but I'm
You
working
can
my way.
find, you can read my full article that I wrote on the way back from from MCM on the train because my train took 4.5 hours to get back instead of 3.5.
Right.
I've got a lot of stuff about my stay. I stayed with Tender Sage. Thank you if she listens. Not sure she will.
Did she know you were staying with them?
Yes, I think. I left a note. But I think that it's different from the old one, and it's easier to put together because the layout can stay the same now. And with the newsletter, the other one, the HTML one, you had to code it, and you also...
No, you mean
Had to
I
make
had
sure-
to code it?
Well, I coded it originally,
Yeah, originally.
but it
3
was a
years
pain.
ago.
It was a
Most of it
pain
every
in the
month
ass to
after.
change, wasn't it, Josh?
It took a while, that is correct.
But this can be done, yeah.
Hmm.
I'm looking, but actually for the next newsletter, I'm hoping that people submit their own stuff too. I think that since I did it last time, we got a few more creative people who'll be willing to do it. But you can
Definitely.
find it. There'll be a link in the description again here, I think.
Yeah, there is a link in the description to the newsletter.
Not yet,
And
there isn't.
also, yeah, not yet there is.
But there will be.
By the time you listen to this, there will be, and I imagine most of you have already clicked it and you've already pledged to give Martin some content. And if you've not, shame on you.
I want it to be
well,
clan, just not staff telling you this.
In other words, Martin cannot be bothered to do the next month's newsletter, and so he would like your help.
Looking for someone to take
get some
over the
content.
newsletter editor spot.
right. We also have some welcomes to the clan. Mr. Kai, Sling Update, Rads, Fire is Fury, Mr. Umpire, Skiller Dude, and iFishy. Welcome to you, and we look forward to seeing your applications at some point over the next couple of days.
Made the right choice.
How many members do we have now?
Over 300.
Over 300. That's a lot.
About
Yeah,
active, we've got about 168, but in game we've got over 300.
Yeah, in the clan chat. Promotions then. Imaginary Pie, Suki, and Mark's Legend all became Mirth Elves this week. Congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
With us ticking into the new month. Obviously, Diggy posted the loyalty promotions, so we welcome to the Anthem rank Elton John, Elijah, Jenny Bean 83, Rai Kashowi, I think that's how you pronounce that, and Superman Cav, all Anthem elves. Congratulations to you.
There's no N.
There's no.
Is it not an N? Oh right, I thought there was an N. Okay, Anthem elves.
Who came up with these names? Honestly, none of us can say them. It took me years to work out what our name was. Arianwyn.
Well, that's someone from RuneScape. That's an NPC.
Yeah. But
if you've heard Scotty say it in real life, still can't say it.
And he came up with them, I presume.
Yep.
Scotty and Ray. Martin developed a very nice image that you can see in the background to this video now. However, you may notice slap bang in the middle of it, there's a question mark. And that's because I want you, SoA, to submit images that you think you can design them, preferably design them, submit them to myself via PM as a logo for the podcast. They will appear in every podcast video and as the official logo for the podcast on podcast threads. Hopefully, we'll get that within the next 2 weeks. I am looking for more people to actually, volunteer to come on the podcast. You can send me a message if you're interested.
Remember, please, that the combat beta offer comes as an in-game item, not an email. There will be scam emails going around, and unfortunately they've decided to send out their official acceptance invitations to join the beta. They've chosen to send it out through email, but at the moment, as it stands, you can only register for the beta on RuneScape.com, following the link from the homepage or the link from the in-game item.
So that's all we have time for this week. I'd like to thank my guests, Martin, Xander, and Josh, for your participation this evening. A reminder that all of the links to things that we've discussed and to our clan page can be found in the description to this video. You're more than welcome, if you're not already a member, to join the Spirits of Arianwyn clan chat in-game and have a chat to us in there. I think that's everything then. So we shall see you all soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.